One of the best ways to learn AutoCAD and the commands is to simply just start drawing. In this tutorial, we'll draw a simple stick figure. Now, I'm not too concerned about my units or my layers. I simply just want to start using the commands. So to start, I'm going to first draw my head. So I'm going to go to my circle command up here in the top left, and I can either select the circle that's up on top, the button that's up on top, or you can click the drop down underneath that circle. You'll notice that I have 6 different ways to draw a circle. I would highly recommend that you try each of those and see what might work best in each circumstance so that you get familiar with the way to draw. I'm going to go ahead and select center radius. Now AutoCAD is very good about walking us through the various steps that we need in each command. So here to start, it says specify a center point. So I'm going to pick a point at random in model space. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to drag my mouse out. And I'm not too concerned if it's 8 inches or 8 feet. Again, I'm just playing with it so that I can learn some of the commands. So I'm going to go ahead and just click here. And let's go ahead and make a body. So I'm going to zoom out just slightly and pan up by holding the wheel. I'm going to draw a line. And I want the line to be exactly in the center of my body. As I hover over that line, the center point of that circle appears. So I'm going to select that center point. I'm going to drag my line down. Now, if I want to make sure that it's absolutely straight down, I can turn my ortho on. My ortho is this button right here. And that means that I can only draw in 90 degrees. So let's go ahead and do that for this example. So let's go right here. Again, I'm not worried about my length. The line command continues. Anytime I want to get out of that, anytime I want to get out of a command, I simply hit the escape button on the keyboard. Escape twice will typically remove you from any function in AutoCAD. I'm going to turn my ortho off. I'm going to draw some arms. I'm going to click line, and that's the midpoint of my line. If I wanted to be, let's say that I wanted to be a little bit higher, it's not snapping to that, so I would come down to my snaps, click the drop down, and for this one I'm going to select nearest. Now I usually don't use nearest when I'm drawing architectural plans because these other snaps are typically all I need. I'm going to go ahead and select nearest, and I can select right about here, and I'm going to put my arm, let's do an arm here, and another length of the arm here. And then again, to get out of that command, I'm going to hit escape. So I could draw another arm going out this way, or I could try my mirror command. Let's try that. So I'm going to click mirror. And AutoCAD says, which objects do you want to mirror? I want to mirror this one and this one. So I click on each of those. Anytime I want to change function, I can right click or press enter on the keyboard. And then it says, where is the mirror line? So that's the point at which I want to mirror it. So where is the mirror? The mirror for me is right here. So I'm going to click this endpoint. And then you notice I can move my mouse around. And again, if I want to mirror it, it's going to be straight down or straight up. Again, I could turn my ortho on. I'm going to go ahead and click that. Now the last thing it asks is, do you want to erase the source object? In this case, I do not. So I'm going to select no, or because there's that dot, I can hit enter as well. Let me turn my ortho back off. All right, so I've got my arms. Let's draw a couple of legs. So I'm going to click to this endpoint. And if I want to pan around, maybe I want a little bit of extra room, I'm going to press the wheel on the mouse down and move up. So maybe I'll do something like this, and then a foot coming out, and escape. And maybe for this one, instead of mirroring it, I will draw another leg here. So I'm going to click here to start. You notice if I hover over this joint right here, and I pull away, that green dashed line appears. That means that it is at exactly the same spot horizontally. I'm going to go ahead and click that. I'm going to maybe make this leg bend in a little bit. I'm going to hover over there and put a foot. Let's make sure my foot is straight using ortho. Hit escape. All right, so the next thing I want to do is to trim that line out of my head. So I'm going to zoom in using the wheel, and I'm going to select my trim command, and it says what objects are we working with. I want to work with this object and this object. To change function, I'm going to right click or enter on the keyboard, and then which one do I want to trim. And if I just hover over it, it'll show me which one I'm trimming. So there it shows me that I'm going to be deleting this one. So I'm going to go ahead and hover over it and then click. And I'm finished with that command, so I'm going to hit escape. All right, so we're looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and put some eyes and a mouth. So for circle, maybe I'm going to try diameter this time. I'm going to put a couple of eyes here. And I think for this one, I'm going to mirror this as well. So I'm going to click mirror. This is the object I want to mirror. Right click to change function. That is, let's make the center my mirror. And then as I rotate around, I get it equally spaced. So I'm going to go ahead and click. I do not want to delete my source object. Those look good. All right, things are looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and draw a mouth. I'm going to go to my arc command. And you notice there are multiple ways in which to draw an arc. I'm going to try the start and radius. Now, the important thing to remember with AutoCAD is that when we draw an arc, it is always drawing counterclockwise. So I need to make sure that I start on the left side. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to go over to, and maybe it can be a little skewed, that's okay, here. And then I'm going to pull that down. So let me show you an example of what would happen if I go the other direction. So let me move over here. I'm going to select arc. If I start on the right side and go to my left, you notice it's a frowny face because it's drawing it counterclockwise from where I started. I'm going to hit escape to get out of that. Let's draw a couple of ears. So I'm going to draw a 2-point. I'm just going to find a spot here and maybe here. Then I can use my trim command by selecting trim. These two objects I want to work with, right click to change function. All right, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to mirror my ear. So I'm going to select my mirror command. I'm going to select this ear. Right click to change function. Let's select my point as the center here. I'm going to swing around, click it, erase source object, no. All right. So let's duplicate myself. So let's use the copy command. So I'm going to select copy, and it says to select the objects. Now I could go and I could select these all at once, but if I click once and draw a box around and then click again, I've selected everything. Change function, either right click or enter. And where's my base point? Where's the point that I'm going to grab it and move it? So let's do it right there. And I can then move this out this way. I can move it anywhere I want, but right now my ortho's on, so I can only go left, right, up, or down. So I'm going to turn my ortho off. So I could move this anywhere I want. I'm just going to move it out to the side. I'm going to click it, and I can keep going. I can make multiple of me if I like, and that will happen until I press the escape key on the keyboard. So I'm going to press escape. So that looks pretty good. Again, the recommendation to learn AutoCAD and the basic functions is just to start drawing and having fun with it. Try a simple project, and as you do that, you will build your skills and confidence level.